Coming up this evening, new poll from Global Info Analytics asserts governing NPP over the last month has lost momentum in the Ashanti region, with the party flag bearers' lead in the region fallen to 65% from 73%. We'll hear from some residents in the region.
Media the omo canon true and is MPP for ebe omo dwuma ya omo mra grassroots no omo mra form no mu tie dia form ne dey e can because omo dey do omo course ro no but afi e feel say no omo di dia mint no omo to omo lanku sanimu a omo kwa na omo koba but omo tie media for ne dia metimi aka so melusu.
We'll engage the NPP in the Ashanti region on the poll. Also, Movement for Change describes Electoral Commission's 100,000 CD filing fee as uncalled for, arguing it undermines Ghana's political process.
The Electoral Commission is given a budget, and the budget that is given is from you and I, our taxes. So what really are they taking the money to do? It is uncalled for. We must not reduce our politics to who has money to go and file and then be able to contest.
We'll also hear from other parties on the filing fee. Meanwhile, PPP Communications Officer and the parliamentary candidate for Asaiman filed suit at High Court challenging recent appointment of COP Christian Teteyohunu as Deputy IGP in charge of operations by President Akufo-Addo. We'll have a conversation with him on this shortly. And later, did President Akufo-Addo just predict the winner of the December 7 elections like he did for Ododo-Dio seat? Listen.
Ododo-Dio Hano. Motua mamia, na motua manila ante Vanderpool. Say, mankani yekra, nilante banaman.
Well, he's done it again.
Yes, he's done it again, and we'll get to understand more. Stay with me, you get to know more. Also, Volta Regional Prison Service appeals to NGOs for food to feed inmates.
I'm appealing to individuals, NGOs, and institutions who can come to our aid in some of these respective. And the inmates, let me take the opportunity, they are feeding. It's quite a problem. We all know the feeding rate in this country.
We have details of these and more if you stay with me. Grateful for your company this evening. Welcome aboard Ghana's most comprehensive news analysis program, Starr, today here on Starr 103.5 FM. It's a Friday, the 2nd of August 2024, and we are streaming live on Facebook, so you can join us on Facebook at Starr 103.5 FM. Alternatively, you can also send your thoughts, your comments, your views and contributions to our WhatsApp number 0552 880 216 0552 880 216, and we will be sure to read it to the rest of the world. My name this evening, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Let's get into the details of our stories now. And results from a latest tracking poll from Global Info Analytics asserts the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, over the last month has lost momentum in the Ashanti region. Now, according to the poll, the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's lead in the region fell to 65% from the 73% he had immediately after the announcement of Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh as running mate on July 4. Now, the poll also adds that the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, saw a gain in his percentage from 15% to 23%. Now, former Trade Minister and leader of the Movement for Change, Alan Kodjo is still expected to get 9% of the Ashanti regional votes per the latest poll. We also have Nana Kwame Bediako with 1% of the polls, and the others also getting 1%. Adam Kodjo is with the research desk. He's been perusing that document from the Global Info Analytics, and he has joined me with details on what is contained in there. Adam, what more do we know?
Yes, so basically, as you said, this was a tracking poll by the Global Info Analytics. Now, if you recall, or listeners will recall, in July, the Global Info Analytics released what was a national poll. This month, they decided to do a focus poll on the Ashanti region, and per the data we have, the sampled some 1,392 eligible voters from 14 key constituencies in the region, using it as a sample for the entire region. Now, before I get to the main details, I just want to highlight some interesting things that were also captured in the report. Now, out of the number of people that were sampled, 48% say the country is heading in the wrong direction. So one could imply that 48% of people or eligible voters in the Ashanti region believe the country is heading in the wrong direction. In the right direction, 47% believe the country is heading in the right direction, with some 5% saying that they do not have an opinion. When it comes to the president, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we have 42% of people or potential voters in the Ashanti region saying they disapprove of the of the president's job rating.
Right.
Or how the president has gone about his job or how he's doing
his
job,
performance.
his performance per se. And 56% say they approve. So over there we have majority also saying that the president has done well for them. But then there's another interesting metric, and the question is, compared to the year before, which of the following best describes your standard of living? Now 39% say their standard of living have improved. 35% in the Ashanti region say their standard of living has worsened. And 24% say, well, wherever they are still there. They are neither seeing an improvement or a worsening. So these are some very interesting things that are coming in there. Then they will get the new man in the mix. Remember that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh on July 4th was announced as running mate to the flag.
To Dr. Bawumia.
Dr. Bawumia. And then subsequently, there was a grand unveiling in the Ashanti region. The next question was, what is the likely impact of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh on your voting in the December elections? Now, in July 4th, when the poll was done, the previous poll was done, 62% said he's likely to influence their votes. Now, that has dropped to 58% as at August 1. So that's a very key takeaway that has come in there. And 29% now say his inclusion as running mate would have no effect on their voter choice, as opposed to 21% that said it would have in the beginning. So that is some general thing in there. Now, in the Ashanti region also, when it comes to key issues that is of concern to them, the economy still remains top, with 23% of people saying the economy is their key issue for election 2024. Jobs is second, education third, roads fourth, and then the list goes on and on. In fact, and taxes too is also pretty high in there. So,
right.
So Joshua, these are some very good things. That's some very general highlights that I'll go there. And now let's go to the voting intentions. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, per the latest poll, is expected to get 65, or is projected to get 65.4% of votes in the Ashanti region.
Right.
Now,
per this tracking poll.
This tracker. Now, on July 1, he was at 73%. For John Dramani Mahama, he's doing 23.7%. On July 4, after the announcement as of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as running mate, he was at around 15%. Now, Alan Tremantin has actually also moved up from 9.0 to 9.2. And Nana Bediako
Nana Kwame
Bediako has actually seen his reach in the Ashanti region decrease. So 2.0 to 0.7. And then the others have moved from 1.0 to 1.1. So generally, what the poll is telling us is that John Dramani Mahama has made an 8.7 gain in the past 1 month, while Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has had a 7.6% drop in there, and Alan equally gaining. Now, when it comes to gender-wise, male-female, John Dramani Mahama gets a 7.8% gain at the male side and 9.4% gain at the female side. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is actually losing lots of female votes in the Ashanti region.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And I'm sure that when we raise Musa Dankwa on the phone lines, we'll get to understand exactly what is playing out in terms of the dynamics, why Dr. Bawumia is losing more females who hitherto said they were going to vote for him, now deciding to vote elsewhere. Interesting.
Alan Tremantin is also gaining. He had a net gain, but he also gained 3.1% in terms of females and lost 2.9% in terms of males. And then Nana Kwame Bediako is losing both sides, but he's losing more male voters than female voters. So this is what we have as general highlights from this, Joshua. And Musa Dankwa's latest, or Global Info Analytics latest poll is saying, okay, well, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, or basically the MPP in the Ashanti region, have lost momentum by close to some 7.6% in the past 30 days.
Interesting. Adam Kodjo, thank you so much. But let's get on the phone lines and speak to the man behind all of this. Musa Dankwa has joined us. He is the Executive Director and Lead Researcher at Global Info Analytics. Musa, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So when was this poll conducted?
The poll was conducted between 28th July and 3rd August.
And from the figures that we see, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's lead, earlier 73%, now dropping to 65%. What exactly is happening there?
Right. If you look at the numbers we took following the nomination of Matthew Pempe, clearly that number gave him 73% lead and Muhammad on 15%, which was probably lower for Muhammad in terms of what he actually gets from the region. Now, going back this time around, nearly a month after the announcement and unveiling, what we have seen is that the numbers have shifted quite significantly in the sense that John Mahama has increased his vote share in the region to nearly 24%. Now, Dr. Bawumia has receded or come down from 73% to 65.4%. But Alan largely remained the same compared to the previous figures that we had. But Nana Kwame also nearly collapsed in the central region. What has happened? Now, if you look at the demography of voters that we interviewed, and indeed if you look at demography by party affiliation, you will realize that among people who said they are MPP voters, Bawumia gained 2% more voters compared to the previous period in the central region among those who said they are MPP. And this gain had come from 1% drop for Alan from the MPP people in the central region, 0.6 drop for Mahama, and 0.5% drop for Nana Kwame Bediako. Now, when you come to the NDC, Bawumia got plus 3% or plus 1.3% among NDC people voting for Bawumia. And Alan lost the same number, 1.3%. Now, the big shock came from the floating voters in the region, where Dr. Bawumia lost nearly 17% of votes compared to the last period. Now, where did this vote go? 5.5% of these votes went to Mahama. 13.2% went to Alan Samati. And Nana Kwame Bediako also lost 2.9% among floating voters. So we can see clearly that the floating voters who were not enthused with what was happening in the campaign and decided to move away from GMB.
So it's largely on the floating voter side, but did the nomination or the appointment or approval of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, did it play any part at all in what we are seeing?
I think it did. It did, because if MPP numbers who are backing Bawumia has increased by 2%, it means that within the MPP base, just the MPP base in the region, he has made 2% improvement. But that has come at a cost of 17% of floating voters in the country region. Now, if you look at the earlier numbers, for example, how likely is Matthew Opoku Prempeh's nomination going to influence you to vote for MPP in December? The first poll we conducted, likely to influence, was 62%. Now it is down to 58%. And those who said they are unlikely to be influenced, it was 21% in the first poll. It's now jumped to 29%, 8% increase. And for those who said they were neutral about his nomination, that has dropped from 17% to 13%. So it appears people have moved from being neutral about his nomination to unlikely to be swayed in his nomination. And that is what is driving the poll. And these people happen to be floating voters.
And we are seeing more women, actually, who used to support, now deciding to go elsewhere.
Yes, women voters are probably scattered everywhere, and I think Bawumia is most likely among them in the central region. And indeed, it is really from the floating voters as well. Now, one thing that we just detected, which we just posted our Facebook handle, is that when you analyze these results, those who are changing among the floating voters. Now, floating voters with junior high school, Bawumia lost about 4%, and Mahama lost about 13%. The movement went to Alan. But for those who have senior high, who are floating, Bawumia lost 21%, and they went to Alan. and Mahama.
And these are people who are, what, senior high school level?
Yes, senior high school. And when it comes to the tertiary level, Baumia lost 11% of tertiary education, and Alan lost 8%. And 13% of this loss went to Mahama, and 14% went to Nana Pambedia. So the movement is really within the floating modest block. It means that they may not have been happy with probably Napo, especially following his comments about, what we call the controversial comment about Kwame Nkrumah.
Kwame Nkrumah, among others.
Yes.
So that influence is also there.
Yes, definitely it is there, because you could feel the angst across the country about what he said. The extent that they have to go and apologize. So it has an effect of what we'll probably see in the polls. Right.
And I'm sure you'll be going back, and then in October we are going to get some more results from you as to what people are saying. But going forward into that, were you surprised from what you found out? The numbers dwindling?
No, I wasn't surprised.
How so?
Because, I expect Mahama to do at least 24% in the Ashanti region. And when he was on 15%, certainly the numbers had been aligned. And Baumia, we expect him, without Alan, to be in the region of 73%. But with Alan, that number will be very difficult. And as you can see, Alan is doing 12%, I think 9% in the Ashanti region. That is quite huge loss to MPP in the region.
Quite interesting. But Musa, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that going forward, would have further conversations on this. But grateful for your time this evening.
My pleasure.
All right. So that's Musa Dankwa. He's the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics, and breaking it down for us, helping us to appreciate exactly the details of the recent poll in the Ashanti region, where we are seeing the numbers for the NPP's presidential candidates, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, dropping from some 73% to around 65%. And the explanation is that more floating voters who used to support DMB between the early part of July till date have decided to shift focus, and we are seeing that those numbers reducing. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC has his numbers, however, appreciating. Alan Kodjo also with 9% of people in the Ashanti region saying that they are sticking with him. And it ignites a lot of conversation surrounding the target of the NPP in the Ashanti region, amongst others. But let's get on the phone lines and speak to Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the NPP, Paul Kwabna Tando. He's joined us on the phone lines for a conversation on this. Paul, good evening. Welcome to Starr today.
Good evening, Bob.
I hope you're doing well, my brother.
I'm great. I'm doing well. And you?
I'm also doing well. But it does appear rather that your candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, according to what Global Info Analytics is saying, is not doing too well in the Ashanti region. How do you react to that?
Thank you very much for the opportunity given me. Please, you will not in any way rubbish any research that will be conducted as far as this 2024 election is concerned. Whatever will be the outcome of anybody's research, we take it in good faith and make sure whatever needs to be done to work to bring to a near benefit, we shall do that. But I will tell you, as a man on the ground or as a grassroots person who deals with party members and party supporters in every now and then, I will tell you that the party is strong, the party is reasonable, and we are poised for power this year, 2024. In fact, all other activities and all other events that have been done in the region point out to the fact that we are on course, we are focused, and we are ready for power.
But you mentioned that you do not discount these form of surveys conducted, and you just take it and you move along with it. But from the indication is that after your flag bearer announced his running mate, the party doesn't seem to be doing too well. for which reason you've dropped from 73% to 65%. What is the target of the party in the Ashanti region heading into this 2024 polls?
You know, the campaign chairman has set a target of 85% for us to achieve. And for that matter, we are working assiduously to make sure we hit that target. But what I would say is that looking at or reading through the report conducted by Info Analytics, the constituencies that you went to, we don't have much of MPs at such constituencies. For instance, New Edibiase, it's for NDC now, or we have NDC MP there. Edra, we have NDC MP there. Aswante, we have NDC MP there. So looking at where the research was based, will tell you that we were not that popular in those constituencies. If we were popular, we'd have won the seat for our parliamentary candidate. And that we aim to be popular at this time and make sure that those seats are retained for the New Patriotic Party. But I will tell you that whatever has come out of this research, we are going to take it in good faith and make sure we work hard at it.
And would you say that you've been able to put in place mechanisms to galvanize the base of the party in the region to be able to deliver victory for the NPP?
I tell you that was the main reason why the Ashantis agitated for the running mate slot. And if for the first time in the history of this country, that New Patriotic Party has had a running mate who is a typical Ashanti and a royal as well. And it tells me that he is going to ginger the base of the party, and all party supporters and party grassroots are going to work assiduously for our victory. And I don't see a region that has the running mate slot coming in, and they would decide not to rather vote or do otherwise. But rather, I see that it will rather encourage them to do whatever they have to do so that we retain power, and with that, we can demand whatever we want to have as a region.
But the argument is that your running mate is not too popular among floating voters. In fact, the research work also shows that commentary he made, among other things, and his poetry, among other things, seems to have had some people who are not pure MPP members not want to align with the party in that stead.
My brother, between the two main political party candidates, NDC and FPP, who amongst them has been able to tell us his vision and has been accepted widely by Ghanaian public? In Santa Mahmoud Baumia, he has outlined not less than 70 visions. And then he has also told them not less than 33 achievements as a vice president. John Mahama, who is on the other side, should tell us his vision.
But I'm talking about your running mate, not the flag bearer.
The running mate has done what?
So the argument is that your running mate does not seem to appeal more to the floating voters, and that's why you're losing patronage in terms of the reports we're seeing from Global Info Analytics.
What I'm saying is that the running mates resonate with the party grassroots and other people in the region. So how on earth would he not be appealing to voters? He is from this region, and we resonate with him. So anybody who was craving for that slot, and now it is in, and the person will decide that now it is in, I'm not going to work for or help in any way. My brother, we are on grounds. We need people and party supporters every now and then, and what they are telling us is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Dr. Napo ticket is a perfect ticket for victory 2024.
But if you're talking about the fact that Dr. Napo is from the region and so resonates with the people, is it just because he's from the Ashanti region, for which reason you believe that he has the strong roots? Because Global Info Analytics seems to suggest that his posturing, his commentary is what is not getting the floating voters to side with the NPP and say they want to openly vote for the NPP.
I would not buy that. If there's someone who out of whatever comes out of the person that will make people not vote for them, it will be the NDC, because they've not been able to bring anything out. When he was the energy minister, Ashanti region, we used to have energy crisis, power fluctuations and others. He has brought Kumasi thermal plant in Ahomaso, which now I can tell you there's stable power supply in the region. On this basis, we can say that he has really contributed his quota in improving the services of the energy security in the region. And that we vote for people to serve us. We vote for people to give us the best of things in our lives. And if he does that for us, why would anybody decide to say that I will not go with people who will bring you what you want to live as a human being? So, my brother, I have been with the people. I'm always in constant touch with them. I visit constituencies, and when they tell me, I don't know who speaks to Info and Analytics, but those people who talk to me every time, and I also meet them and converse with them, they tell me that the ticket of Dr. Bawumia and Dr. Napo is perfect, and it's going to give us victory this year.
Well, Paul, you seem to say that the NDC has not been able to proffer any vision for the country. I mean, they've been very clear. They've been very clear. Paul, listen, they've been very clear and loud on the 24-hour economy. Isn't that a message that they have sold to the public?
My brother, 24-hour economy explained for me to hear. The 24-hour economy that you claim that they have said.
Not claiming that they have said. That is what John Dramani Mahama has said. That is what the NDC is running with.
Can you explain for your listeners and myself? Can you explain? You see, you have to tell people what is happening and what you are bringing on board. When Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia tells you, I'm going to bring credit scoring, he has explained for everybody to hear that now globally, everybody depends on credit card and others. Looking at the things that he has put in place with Ghana card system, it makes people to be identified easily.
And you think people do not understand the 24-hour economy?
People are going to have an easy life. And when the Mahama mentioned 24-hour economy, Yamin said that we sell grass cutter, and that grass cutter cannot be sold in only daytime, but we can sell grass cutter at night.
Come on. Are you not trivializing the conversation now?
Communication, when we have they should explain 24 hours, they will tell you that with 24-hour economy, with agri-care, they are going to bring lion. You see, they are finding it difficult to explain simple message that they put across. It tells you they are empty. They have nothing good to tell the good people of Ghana. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has told us whatever he has to say and he has to do, the people believe, and we have trusted whatever he said.
Well, Paul, thank you. Thank you for your time this evening, and I'm sure we'll have more conversations going forward. We're grateful for your time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity given me as well.
Right. Paul Kwabna Tando is the Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the NPP. Well, a section of residents in the region have also been reacting to the findings of the Global Info Analytics poll.
And said the gun and econo. We banner some wawa, we buy a boy. I yes, I won't to the one and Cotona, we man or Becase or Buana, so but me the matter man abroso. See, I told 10 times, come out 10 times. Now, so I was shy because the buy was here and son of her son, I am quay. Until yes, the same. Mrs. Sana, Aqua baby for a ban with the Omer Boame. So, Miss Aqua, the Ababuame.
Near my banway, who is a armoire until we pass it. What's the same?
One man named Alcos through too much. Who discover Kodjo ma? Who the hundreds is good as a tension or the Kodjo? Over banner him, one to mount or her. Oto ideas so quiet and shut down to Papa Biasa. Until yes, I pay a banda than I know about Tanaso. Say, Baya, and never because of come, my.
You say, Nada no dorsum. Into a map tracks now your man people. Me to the Frank swabber form. Me, I'm testimony for that. Me parents muna, and I'm a businessman. I'm more from Jum. I'm in Jamaica. See, the amount for canister says, so Mababu. More now so moon peanut and concoto, or no uncle P and Cotomajo Mama. Because of pa won't mean to my mamma into one day on concoto. Then now so baze MP before stone good. It is a Olivia Concoto, the MP before the bed, a belus wood. But to Bass Santa Region is why, and Melbourne more Santa Region. I believe in trust for NDC. Because I'm here in Pujuma NDC for a year, not in Pujuma Excellency a Kufa so by or ye now, or Modi at 2 a far into no media. The Omo canon is true. It is MP before a bay or Mojuma Yamon grass to no more form. No one tear their form near the air can because of the Omo course run on. But after a fee says, you know, Omadi dear mean to no more Tomolan Kusenima, Omo Kwan or Mokoba, but Omo tear media for the Ametimaka so Melusu.
So you heard some residents of Kumasi Osho sharing their thoughts on the findings of Global Info Analytics in their latest poll, where we are told that Dr. Baumia seems to be losing some headway. He's not making headway. He's losing some votes in the region, floating voters mostly. And John Dramani Mahama of the NDC seems to be gaining in that regard. This is Starr 103.5 FM. We'll be right back after this.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Somali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
Thank you so much for staying on with us right here on Starr 103.5 FM. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. So yesterday, the Electoral Commission of Ghana announced that those male candidates vying for the presidency will have to cough up some 100,000 cedis for filing fees, while female presidential aspirants will also have to dole out 75,000 cedis. And according to the commission, for the position of MP, we are looking at 10,000 cedis, while females and persons living with disabilities would have to pay some 7,500. Now, that has generated a lot of conversation on social media, off social media, and on the political landscape. Well, the Movement for Change, led by Alan Kodjo Martin, they have also described the Commission's nomination fee as uncalled for. Listen to a leading member for the Movement for Change, Solomon Owusu Sonny Rocky, and he is arguing that the posture of the EC will undermine political process.
The Electoral Commission has no business whatsoever demanding any fees from anyone that wants to contest to lead this country. The Electoral Commission is given a budget, and the budget that is given is from you and I, our taxes. So what really are they taking the money to do? It is uncalled for. We must not reduce our politics to who has money to go and file and then be able to contest. So that is our position, that in as much as we respect the Electoral Commission, we believe that introducing money as a basis for one's ability to contest an election is totally needless. And now going forward, they must do whatever within their power. If it is that they would increase their budget to take care of people that are ready to contest, they must do so. Else, a time will come that the only people that will be able to contest are people that have money. And as to whether or not their monies were gotten through a means, then we are likely to have problems in the future.
So you had there a leading member of the Movement for Change, Solomon Usu, there. He'll be joining us shortly on the phone line so we can have a further conversation on that. And he's joined us now. Solo, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you for having me too.
So you say the 100,000 cedi nomination fee is uncalled for, but there are others who also argue that if you want to be president, you should be able to at least have 100,000 cedis to file your nomination and be a part of the process. What do you say to such people?
First of all, I have a difficulty with those that say that. The truth of the matter is that as far back as 2023 December, this electoral commission submitted a budget to the Parliament of Ghana. The Parliament of Ghana approved a total budget of 786.9 million Ghana cedis. So, in spite of this approval, they are still requesting candidates to be paid. Pay for what? What are the candidates paying for? And why must money be a determining factor to anybody becoming the president of the land? This electoral commission was not being given any package. Then they can convince me that indeed because of their logistical constraints, they will need money from the aspirants or the candidates. Here you have been giving money and you are still collecting money. Collecting money to do what? They are just simple with me. And if we don't take care, going forward, we may not have the right caliber of people wanting to occupy positions in this country because of the fact that they are unable to raise money. And that is, for me, a danger to our democracy.
But the argument then again is that this is not novel. This is not the first time you're seeing this.
They have been doing a lot of wrong things in the past that has got that here, so we cannot be continuing doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. The mere fact that it's been done in the past does not mean that we cannot go back and do a comparative analysis or a thorough analysis of the policy to see whether it is good for this country. We cannot continue like that. And I'm saying that the Electoral Commission has to justify why, in spite of being given 786.9 million, almost close to $1 billion, aspirants or candidates must still pay. Pay for what? What do they pay for?
So help me understand, is it the quantum of the money or the fact that the aspirants have to pay anything at all?
It's about both. First of all, I don't believe anybody has to pay anything because every Ghanaian is believed to be a taxpayer. And it is our taxes that we have allocated 786 million to them. So if you have been given this budget, why must you come back and take money from those that want to contest? And have they told us what they intend to use those money for? They must tell us what are the purpose for which they are collecting money from candidates does not fall within the budget issues of what they submitted to Parliament.
So for you, the Electoral Commission must justify.
The Electoral Commission must justify, and going forward, we must do away with this whole business of someone has to pay money to the Electoral Commission.
Yes, so going forward, we must look at that. But in the interim, for the December 7, 2024 general elections, what is the proposal from the Movement for Change on this issue of presidential filing fees?
We believe that the Ghanaian pays taxes. We believe that once the Ghanaian pays taxes and the Electoral Commission is given budget, anybody that qualifies to occupy a position in this country must be allowed to contest without paying anything. In any case, what this whole idea of paying money to the Electoral Commission will do in the future is that if we don't take care, people that have the technical know-how but do not have the money will not be able to contest. But the criminal, people that would have gotten money through it will be the ones leading this country. And that is not what we want to. We want the country.
But I'm listening to you, Solomon.
We must. And the Electoral Commission has been given all the money that it needs. So, what are they going to use this for? You are taking money from aspirants or candidates. To do what? That has to be explained.
But is it also not the case that if there was no form of criteria in terms of payment, then anybody at all would also want to be a part of it? and that would make the process also cumbersome?
So in fact, you are telling me that the left wants to use money to be eliminating people.
I'm just asking questions.
No, that is not. In fact, you can put other criteria. You can put other benchmarks apart from money to be able to get the right personnel or the right caliber of people to contest. Money must not be the defining moment.
Right.
That is what I want to say. Money must not. A teacher wants to contest.
Well, Solomon, thank you. Thank you so much. And is that something that you're looking at doing to be able to call the attention of the Electoral Commission, aside, of course, making your grievances heard?
Come again, the alarm was breaking, so I couldn't hear the
Sorry about that. I'm asking that aside making these concerns heard, are you looking at petitioning the Electoral Commission to review or do something about it?
I mean, there will be a petition. Definitely there will be a petition to the commission. But going forward, we must do away with this. It's just not right. It's just not right. We are getting on concern for the Electoral Commission to be doing anything that pleases them. What was the basis in even arriving at the figure or amount of 100,000 for presidential and the amounts that have been reached for parliamentary? What was the basis? What was the basis for it? They cannot be doing things anyhow.
And for those who are in support of this, one of the things they've said is that, well, in 2020, the amount was still pegged at 100,000 and 10,000 cities. And so if we've not seen an increase in 2024, then perhaps we do not have a reason to complain.
Can you imagine a whole commission that is just going to organize an election? The amount that it is being given to just run an election is running almost $1 billion. And the commission is still, as it were, taking money from those that are going to contest. I mean, why like the conscience in this? Why is the conscience in this? Having been given almost $1 billion and you have to take money, what is it?
Right. All right, Solomon, thank you so much for engaging with us this evening. Right. Solomon Owusu is a leading member for the Movement for Change. Well, he's not the only one who feels this way. Hassan Ayariga of the APC, All People's Congress, also feels that, well, the 100,000 cities filing fee is on the upscale.
Last election, when the EC declared that all presidential candidates should pay 100,000 Ghana cedis, I was strongly against it. And I said that the economy of Ghana is so bad that the salary of a Ghanaian citizen is less than 10,000 Ghana cedis. That of a minister of state, less than 15,000 Ghana cedis. So we say ministers of state, candidates of any political party, almost 100,000 Ghana cedis. That is outrageous. The economy is tough. Then it was tough. Now it's even worse. How much is the Ghanaian worker's salary? How much is a Ghanaian earning as compared to what the EC is asking? What EC is trying to do is trying to tell us that Ghana is for the highest bidder. We are selling our electoral process to the highest bidder. And they are telling us that they are looking for people with more money than more brains, more money than leadership, more money than incompetence. Party. Because take a public worker, for instance. Let's take the highest public earner worker, which is the Minister of State, 16,000. Minister said their salary is 16,000. When will a Minister of State, if he is a competent and not corrupt, a patriotic citizen of Ghana, save 100,000 Ghana cedis just to pay for parliament? And nobody's talking about it. The bigger parties, the NDC and the NPP, they are fine with it because they have been in power, they've embezzled government resources and funds, they are using government machinery to go around and campaign. So for them, they don't care whether we put the talent fee at 1 million Ghana cedis. Are you with me? Record state. The parliament must come out and tell the EC to justify this 100,000. Because a teacher in Ghana's salary is less than 10,000 Ghana cedis. So if a teacher wants to become a parliamentarian and he has to pay 10,000 Ghana cedis to file, where is he going to get a 10,000 Ghana cedis to file? So we are breeding corruption. We are breeding corruption by pegging parliamentary at 10,000, presidential at 100,000. It is not about those who can pay. It's not about those. It's about doing the right thing. Pegging the filing fee at an amount that is reasonable, at an amount that Ghanaian citizens can afford. The economy of Ghana today is one of the worst economy in the world. And you cannot dispute the fact that Ghanaian economy is the worst.
So that's Hassan Ayariga. He is the flag bearer and leader of the All People's Congress, APC.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
Now, Communications Officer of the Progressive People's Party and parliamentary candidate for Ashaiman, Emmanuel Felix Mate, has filed a suit at the High Court challenging the recent appointment of COP Christian Tete Yohuno as Deputy IGP in charge of operations by President Akufo-Addo. You recall the president's appointment ignited discussions around the propriety of such an appointment, which is the first of its kind in the history of the Ghana Police Service, while West MP, a retired police officer himself, Peter Lanchini Tobo, accused the president of setting the police service back with his latest appointment, while security analyst Dr. Adam Bona questioned the timing for the latest appointment. Well, Emmanuel Felix Mate is asking the High Court to declare the appointment null as the portfolio is a non-existent one. Fortunately, Emmanuel Felix Mate has joined us on the phone lines now. Mr. Mate, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you very much.
So, what exactly are you seeking from the High Court?
Well, thank you. Greetings to your cherished listeners and viewers. My prayer is simple. Recently, the president made an appointment into the Ghana Police Administration, specifically a deputy IGP in charge of operations. And in my opinion, the appointment is authorized, in my opinion, and that there is no such position as a deputy IGP in charge of operations in the police administration per the Agency Act. In fact, when you read the Agency Act, it makes or purport to create that office of a deputy IGP. Its function, that functions of that office is stipulated in the Agency Act. It did not specifically say a deputy IGP in charge of operations. So anybody who does make such appointment or occupies such an office, in my view, is occupying an empty office. And that it is not for me to declare, it's not for me to say, but the court is to say that. So I'm only praying the court to prohibit COP Teteyonu from occupying a non-existing office. And I'm also praying that the president and the council of the police should be prohibited from making such an appointment because it's a non-existing office in the Agency Act. There are laid down procedures and rules for which such offices in the police administration can be created. And I think if we are to follow those rules, we can have a better administrative body or a security institution to manage our internal security affairs.
Okay.
So, in simple terms, praying the court.
Now, Emmanuel, for the purposes of clarity, is it the portfolio of a deputy IGP, or specifically because it is in charge of operations? Which one exactly are you praying the court to declare now?
The appointment said a deputy IGP in charge of operations.
Right.
That is appointment, and it's an office that has been created. But we have to go by the appointment letter. And when you read the Police Administration Agencies Act, there's nothing like a deputy IGP in charge of operations. There's nothing like that. So why must we send somebody to an office which the law do not recognize? On what basis is he occupying that office? You get it? So I have several questions in my mind, and let the court look at it and review the decision of the president and come out with a decision. Because it's only the courts that have the powers and authority to review the decisions of a public agency, a public institution. That's why I'm praying the courts.
And is it quite curious to you that since this matter came to the fore, we've heard a lot of people talk about it and question the propriety, yet we've not necessarily had any form of response thus far?
Well, perhaps those people who need appointment agree with all the issues that has been raised, that something is going wrong. That's why they've not responded. And if we leave it just like that, it will become a precedent. So tomorrow somebody just wakes up and so yes, I have the power of appointments. I'm the president and I have the vast powers. He wakes up and he appoints a deputy IGP in charge of transport. What would you say?
Right.
So because of these, not to set a bad precedent for all of us, that which tomorrow will come and bite all of us, let us allow the courts to make a pronouncement on this thing. So that it shows us the pathway, and we all go by it.
Okay. So is it a matter of legal propriety or how operationally it also might have impact on the operations of the Ghana Police Service?
Well, you see, the police administration works with structures. And those structures are located within some law. Somebody can't just wake up and become a COP or occupy any position in the police administration for that matter. So whatever thing we do, it must be based on what the rules say. So in as much as I, as a citizen of Ghana, understand and then reading agencies and how people can be appointed to occupy certain positions and offices, no one can just wake up and create an arbitrary office for me or say that I have the powers, the vast powers to appoint. So I've appointed somebody to occupy an office where you don't have such office in the administration. The procedure to create office for the police administration persons to be appointed to occupy is there. Those appointors know how to go about it. So if they want to create an office for deputy IGP in charge of operations, they know the procedure, they know the rules, know how to go about it. They can go through that route and create their office where nobody will say anything. You don't just wake up one day and you hear, oh, we have a deputy IGP in charge of operations, where you don't have any rule backing such an office. What is he going there to do? What do you think that will undermine the institution's authority and its functions and operations in the country, which will affect one day our security architecture?
And people have also talked about the timing of the appointments in the first place too.
So that is the reason why people are impugning into putting in those issues that look at the timing that you are making the appointment. It will give a lot of interpretation to it. Now they know there is no such office there, and the president has done that. So we can't leave it just like that. We can't also stay off and talk outside and then look at it and let it pass. The only steps to take is to seek for remedial measures. How do we remedy this decision of the president? This is the court.
Very well.
So the remedy that is there for us is to pray the court to, first of all, prohibit Mr. Teteyonu, COP, from occupying that office, because it doesn't exist. Prohibit the appointing authority, which is the police council and then the police, the president, from going ahead to make such an appointment, because in the law, in their own act, it doesn't exist.
Right.
And then any other orders that the courts may deem fit.
Okay. Well, Mr. Mate, thank you so much for your time this evening.
You're welcome.
You heard there, Emmanuel Mate. He is the PPP's communications officer and is also an aspiring parliamentary candidate for the PPP in the Shaiman constituency. This is Starr today on Starr 103.5 FM. Stay with us.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Sonali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM.
Starr Today, first, fast, and credible.
This is Starr Today on Star 103.5 FM. Let me do some of your messages on social media. Musa Abatwa says the recent Afrobarometer report provides a clear indication of the shifting dynamics within the Ashanti region. Dr. Baumia's popularity has dramatically shifted in favor of Alan Chamating, reflects growing dissatisfaction with the MPP stronghold. On the other hand, former President Mahama's rising appeal among floating voters underscores the resonance of his 24-hour economic policy, with the unemployed youth increasingly desperate for change. This development is a strong testament to the evolving priorities of the electorate, particularly those who are feeling unprecedented hardship. That's from Musa Abatwa. You can also send us your message on Facebook or WhatsApp number 0552 880216. Now, for those of you who have intents of Jakpa, I have some news for you. The United States Embassy has announced effective August 16, it will shut down the old visa appointment platform. The embassy says it will transition to a new visa service provider, which will be launched on the 26th of August 2024. Now, while access to the current visa service provider will cease on August 16, applicants will not be able to make new visa appointments, cancel or reschedule existing appointments, or access customer services. Here is Consul General Elliot Fertig addressing the media.
This is important. During the period between August 16th and August 26th, you will not be able to make new visa appointments, and you will not be able to cancel or reschedule any existing appointments. But if you have an appointment already scheduled during that time, it is still valid. We will still interview you, and you should still come to the embassy for your appointment. On August 26th, we will launch our new scheduling system. As soon as we have the information on the new website, we will post it on our embassy website and on our embassy social media channels. The embassy's website is gh.usembassy.gov. And what that means is if you, on August 26th, you should go to the embassy's website and we will have the link to the new appointment scheduling website. I'd like to go through now sort of what people might need to do based on when they have an appointment or when they would like to have an appointment. So first, if your interview is scheduled before August 16th, meaning if it is from now until August 15th, there is no change. You can attend your appointment, you'll still be able to reschedule it, and you'll have access to your appointment profile on the current visa appointment system. If your interview is scheduled between August 16th and between August 16th and August 26th, again, your visa interview will still happen on those days, but you will not be able to access your ustraveldocs.com account, which is the current visa appointment system, on or after August 16th. You should print out your appointment confirmation letter before August 16th if you have an appointment during that time period, and you should bring that with you to the appointment on the day your visa interview is scheduled to take place. And as I said, we encourage you to attend your visa interview. If you have an interview between August 16th and the 26th, and you actually don't attend it, and you're not able to make it, check on your visa on the U.S. Embassy's website on or after August 26th for information on how to proceed. If your interview is scheduled for August 26th or afterwards, no further act. The visa appointment is still valid, but you will need to log on to the U.S. Embassy's website on August 26th for the information on the new embassy on the new appointment system, and then you will need to go in there and make a new appointment. I'm sorry, you will need to go on to the new appointment system's website on or after August 26th to set up a new account, so that you will be able to receive you'll be able to receive further updates or make changes. Again, the appointment will still remain valid, but on or after August 26th, you will need to make a new appointment, a new account.
So that's Consul General Elliot Fertig of the United States Embassy right here in Accra. Now, the Volta Regional Prison Service is appealing to non-governmental organizations to support the whole central prison with food staff to feed inmates. According to them, government is overburdened with a demand to provide food and other logistics for the inmates, creating a huge gap that affects the welfare of inmates and work of officers. Volta Regional Commander of the Prison Service, Deputy Director Raphael Tuekpe, was speaking at the commissioning of a medical laboratory and a mechanized borehole sponsored by the Member of Parliament for Afajatu South, Angela Aloute.
We've been struggling with water issues because of intermittent water closure from Ghana Water. And we have a borehole which has completely gone off. So I thought it wise to appeal to my MP. She's my MP, Afajatu South, Honorable Angela Aloute. Then so, why not? She will be of help. She has supported the prisons here in so many things. So for this one, she will see what she will do. And quickly she mobilized and mechanized the borehole for us. So we are really grateful to her for coming to our aid. Now we are sure of flow of water, constant flow of water, and image hygiene is assured. Logistics, we have only one vehicle at the station actually. And we appeal to, I know the government is doing its best, he cannot do all. I'm appealing to individuals, NGOs, and institutions who can come to our aid in some of these respective. And the inmates, let me take the opportunity, they are feeding. It's quite a problem. We all know the feeding rate in this country, 180 pesos. Well, the state is doing so well. But we need people to support in a way, because prison is a home, away home. It's there for everybody. You can find yourself in the prison at any given time. But we make a place, a good living place. The day the unfortunate situation will find us here, we will enjoy the prison environment.
So you heard there, the Volta Regional Commander of the Prison Service, Deputy Director Raphael Tuekpe there. Now, let's do some other stories this evening. And former local government minister and immediate past chairman of the NDC, Dr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, has downplayed significance of Road Ministry's latest flagship program dubbed Maintain My Road initiative. Now, according to him, the initiative, which encourages citizens to capture deplorable roads and report for fixing, is impractical. The Road Ministry this week launched the program to help address poor road infrastructure in the country, but Dr. Ofosu-Ampofo is skeptical about its success. He spoke to Bola Ray on Starr Chat.
I was listening to all the noise that was being made about this road making equipment. It was under my leadership as local government minister that I introduced that concept.
What Minister Sensu has introduced now?
I say I introduced it in 2016. We imported.
Do you have a short code for people to text and say that we'll fix your roads for you?
It's not a matter of short. You see, some of these things, they are just, you are going to use short code to ask people to fix roads. Does it work that way? I mean, this.
But the world is digital now.
Because we are going to an election, somebody gets up and say that you use short code.
You think it's an election promise?
You open the short code and then go the next day and solve the problem. You see, governance is a very serious business.
103.5.
And so people must not trivialize it. You cannot tell me that, look, to go and work on roads, you need to do proper inventory. You need to put in place, inspection team that will go and come and give you the quantities, what is supposed to be done, where covers are supposed to be constructed, where drains are supposed to be constructed, where laterals are supposed to be there, and all sorts of things ought to be done. So you cannot tell me that you are bringing in some equipment, and when somebody sends a short code, the next day they road.
But they do assessment, and
it is not practical.
They are saying that there's a short code. You can call 030 700 701. They will come there and fix it.
This is a government that came into power of deception. They are ruling with deception.
They've launched this,
and they will lose by deception.
Really?
Yes, they will lose by deception because it is not possible. It is not possible.
So you heard Dr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo. He is a former NDC chairman, and he's also mounted a spirited defense for the party's proposed 24-hour economy. Listen.
Any nation that sleeps becomes a poor country.
So for all these years that we are not practicing the 24-hour economy, we are sleeping as a country.
We are poor because we sleep. We work 8 hours and we sleep. The whole night everybody is sleeping. And when you sleep as a nation, you become a poor country.
You didn't know that in 1992? You didn't know that in 2008 that we are a sleeping nation because you are not practicing 24-hour economy?
That is why society is progressive. And so you move from one level
dynamic
to another level. And another level and another level.
So you've done an analysis.
The more your economy is growing, the more you are expanding your economy, the more you have enough power in excess to be able to generate more industries and employment. The more you expand, you don't have to sleep because look, in the whole world, America doesn't sleep, UK doesn't sleep, Germany doesn't sleep, China doesn't sleep, India doesn't sleep. Africa, we are sleeping. That's why Africa is poor. When you operate 24-hour, 3-shift system, what happens is that you are able to generate more employment, you are able to increase productivity, and you are able to expand your production base.
So that's a former chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, Dr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo there. Odwin Tema says, JDM and NDC have nothing new to offer the ordinary good citizens of Ghana. Let us maintain NPP for better future of this country. It is possible, he adds, all the way from Tema. To some business stories, and major trade associations in the country have expressed confidence that the newly passed Ghana Shippers Authority law will help to address recurrent challenges expressed by shippers over the years. They made this known during a meeting with the GSA on the implementation of the new GSA law. The law is expected to empower the GSA to protect the interest of shippers and shipping service providers and improve its regulatory oversight of the entire industry. Dr. Humphrey Eyimdake is president of the Association of Ghana Industries.
The Association of Ghana Industries, situated in the shipper's position or the principal agent position, we believe it's a welcoming document, a welcoming act to strengthen the business community in 2 ways. To the shipper, it gives us the capacity to engage with our agents in a very equitable manner. The role of the Shippers Authority is well defined. They become a form of a referee to aid us create the equity that is needed in the cost of doing business, especially from the port of entry, where our various costs that feeds into our productions are raised by virtue of the agent's role. So we welcome this document. Going forward, as explained by the Minister and the CEO, an LI will be developed, and we will contribute to this LI to deepen the mechanism of implementation.
So you heard Dr. Humphrey Eyimdake. He is the president of the Ghana Association of Ghana Industries, now president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Joseph Obeng is hopeful operationalization of the new law will positively impact the cost of doing business in Ghana.
We have been propagating the fact that we are facing so many challenges at the port, especially from the shipping lines that we deal with. And so we have been propagating all this while that we revise their laws so that they can have proper mandate to control. Cost of doing business in this country is just too high. And that if this act seeks to empower Ghana Shippers Authority to do just that for us, to make sure that some controls are brought to bear so that they can approve of some of these charges or disapprove.
You heard President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Well, President Akufo-Addo has once again repeated an episode in Odododio in the run-up to the 2020 general elections, where he mistakenly introduced Neelante Bannerman as Neelante Vanderpoy. This time around, the president is linking his administration to former President John Mahama. In the following report, Elik Plim Auku draws the similarities between President Akufo-Addo and his American colleagues.
I ask you to be citizens, not spectators.
President Akufo-Addo has always had something in common with the President of the United States of America. It started during his inauguration on 7th January 2017, where he charged Ghanaians to be citizens and not spectators.
The change can and should start now and with us as individuals. I ask you to be citizens, not spectators, citizens, not subjects.
Thanks to internet sleuths, however, Ghanaians came to realize this charge was initially a call to Americans by former President George W. Bush in 2001.
I ask you to be citizens, not spectators, citizens, not subjects.
Another paragraph of the same speech quoted Bill Clinton's 1993 speech, substituting Americans for Ghanaians.
Americans have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
Ghanaians have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
Now, there's a third American president President Akufo-Addo shares similarity with, Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe, as he has come to be known, became the butt of the joke repeatedly for his misnaming gaffes. It was a bizarre moment when Biden introduced Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, as Russia's Vladimir Putin.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
This faux pas is no different from President Akufo-Addo calling the wrong Neelante in the heat of the 2020 campaign.
Na Odododio hano. Motua mamia. Na motua Neelante Vanderpool. But say Mankani Yekra Neelante Bannerman.
Well, he's done it again, tagging his administration, the Akufo-Addo Mahama government.
Since January 2017 till date, i.e. in the Akufo-Addo Mahama Bawumia era.
Neelante Vanderpool went on to retain the Odododio seat after this episode. Can the same be said about President Mahama? The answer will be provided after 7th December. After all, we might just be reading meanings into these incidents.
That's unforgivable. That's unforgivable. I hope you will allow me to withdraw that statement. The Akufo-Addo Bawumia era.
So, Mr. President says that's unforgivable. Benjamin Yamwa has joined me with the latest in the world of sports. Benghazi,
Anyway, now in sports, that's speaking from Kumasi. I've extended their deal with German Ghanaian sportswear manufacturer, the Hope brand, for a further 2 years. The Warriors and the Hope brand extended their relationship for 2 more years. The Ghanaian-owned company set to produce Kodoko's jersey for the upcoming season. Kodjo, in a release, said it's delighted to announce the extension of our kit partnership with the Hope brand, a German-based Ghanaian entity, for an additional 2 years. Kodoko's website confirming this particular deal. The Kumasi-based club therefore unveiled their new home jersey following the announcement of the deal, with the former champions to wear a predominantly red with a touch of black around the neck and sleeve for the new season kicking off somewhere in September of this year for the Ghana Premier League. To Olympic Games now, bad news as you all know for Ghana. Our Lady Rose could not advance to the finals of the high jump as she failed to clear in 3 attempts 1 meter and 92. So she could not make it, and that's a sad bit. But tomorrow, we have 3 Ghanaians competing, 2 in athletics, in Benjamin Azamati and Rashid Saminu in the 100 meters heats. Then we'll have in swimming, of course, freestyle, we're going to have Joselle Mensah also compete in swimming tomorrow for Ghana at the Olympic Games. But still staying with Olympic Games and in football, Fermin Lopez scored twice as Spain defeated Japan 3-0 in Lyon to move into the Olympic men's football semi-finals. The Barca midfielder was part of Spain's victorious Euro squad, who opened the scoring early on with a left foot drive into the right corner and added his second with a dipping right foot shot from 20 yards after the halftime break. Now, Mayo Hosoya, who hit the post for Japan, thought he had equalized late in the first period, but his effort was ruled out for offside after a lengthy video assistant referee review. Now, Abel Ruiz lit up in seal victory for the European side, that's Spain, who will now face African side Morocco. Now, on Monday, Morocco also managed to qualify after they beat their opponents from USA by 4-0 at the Parc des Princes this afternoon. Now, Sofiane Rahimi set them on their way, knocking in his 5th goal in the tournament from a penalty spot just before the half-hour mark. Elias Akumak together doubled the lead, I must say, with a close-range finish, and captain Ashraf Hakimi made it 3 for the Moroccans, with Mehdi Mohab rounding off the scoring victory for the Moroccans over their opponents USA after a VR review awarded a penalty. So Morocco won 4-0 over USA to qualify, when Spain also won 3-0 against Japan. The two teams meet on Monday at 5 p.m. in the semi-finals of the ongoing championship. That is the Olympic Games. Let's still stay a bit on the Olympic Games. And unfortunately, today there's bad news because Slovakian swimmer Tamara Patoka is receiving medical treatment after collapsing following her 200-meter medley heat at La Defense Arena in swimming at the Olympic Games. Now, Patoka, 21 years, collapsed by the side of the pool where she received immediate medical care, including being given oxygen. The Slovakian team told BBC Sport Patoka is an asthmatic, yes, and had an asthma attack after the pool or the race in the pool. Patoka is conscious now and was able to communicate with doctors. She has been taken to hospital for further medical supervision. She finished 7th in her heat and missed out on a place in the semi-finals of the ongoing championship in Paris. Still with the Olympic Games, and let's run through the medal table after day 7 at the Games. And currently, as we have it, China still on top on the medal table. They have 13 gold medals, but in total, 27 medals. Second now, the Americans are coming in strong. They are now second on some 9 gold medals, and in total, they have 41 medals for Team USA. Then third now is France, who have some 9 medals for the gold. In total, 31 in total. Fourth is Great Britain. 5th is Australia. Japan are now 6th. South Korea 7th. Italy coming 8th, with the Dutch team as Holland coming in 9th, and the Canadians, or Canada, occupying the 10th spot on the medal table as it stands now, day 7 of the Games. Now, like I said, don't forget, tomorrow in the morning, very early in the morning, Team Ghana will be repping in the heat in the 100 meters in athletics as Benjamin Azamati and Rashid Saminu compete for Ghana in Ghana's quest to at least register some final appearances for our sportsmen who are at the Olympic Games for Team Ghana. So that should be it for our sports today. It's a Friday, long weekend ahead of us. I wish you guys the very, very best and have a sporty weekend.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the kind of person involved. For some people, it's not a long weekend.
Like yourself?
Me, it's very, very long.
Yeah, okay.
But I wish the boys well tomorrow. Let's see if they're able to, clean something for us.
Absolutely.
Very well. Benjamin Yamwa Benghazi with the latest in the world of sports. Let's turn our attention to the foreign front this evening as thousands of Nigerians assemble to demonstrate against poor governance. Oluseyi Oyebisi, Executive Director of the Nigerian Network of NGOs, has cautioned the country's police force against using brutality unity. Now, under the slogan 10 Days of Rage, protesters have assembled under the banner of the End Bad Governance in Nigeria Alliance, and they are calling for the restoration of a fuel subsidy whose sudden elimination in May of last year resulted in a sharp increase in the price of food, transportation, and other necessities. Now, yesterday, there were reported incidents of vandalism and fatalities in certain states involved in protest. Oluseyi is requesting that the police fulfill their civic obligation to safeguard citizens.
We do also want to say that the police has a role to facilitate that protection, right? And in doing that, I understand the pressure that will be on the police, especially when police brutality would also be part of the conversation, right? I was listening to the civil defense when, the director of civil defense was saying, see, people will charge at you, but it doesn't give you a right to do anything negative. Those are lessons that I thought we've learned from Mensah. We now need to find a way of communicating more better, ensuring that we can reduce the pressure on officers that are also managing the protests themselves. And this is where we all come in. This calls for an uncommon, solidarity. But in doing that, we must also ensure that we balance the narrative in ways that doesn't, create more agitations within the community of, those whether protesting or not protesting. And that we isolate the issue. Isolating them meaning, yes, there are areas where we've seen riots. There are areas where we have seen attack on police and also attack on citizens. We need to ensure that we prosecute those properly within the laws, such that for the future, when such happens, people are deterred from doing such kind of act. And I think that's the kind of framing that I would want us to take away. That one, we sympathize with those that may have lost anyone. The beauty of any protest is when citizens, everybody that have gone on the road, gets back to their bed happily. No one has died, whether a police or a citizen. That's when a protest is successful. However, we regret that we have seen these things happening and put more pressure on both security agencies and all of us, even as civil society, who wants to lose anyone. We don't want to start counting statistics anymore. And that's why I'm saying that, let's find ways, that uncommon solution of ensuring that, government listens and addresses their concerns, but we also address issues of violence and also the riots that we're seeing in this process.
So you heard Oluseyi Oyebisi. He is Executive Director of the Nigerian Networks of NGOs. Ending the bulletin right here on Starr 103.5 FM. There's more news for you when you log on to Ghana's most credible news website, starfm.com.gh. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Many thanks to Emmanuel Donko for ensuring that we're streaming live on Facebook. He's the man behind all that creative work you see there. And shout outs to the Comlat Dumont News team for also putting production together. Many thanks to you guys. Let's do this same time next week. But we are entering into the weekend, so please, if you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink, and let's stay safe. And also stay off the fizzy drinks so that we can be healthy and happy to build a happy, strong, working, prosperous Mother Ghana. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah, signing out for the weekend. Do have a lovely one.